Sometimes the people who seem closest to you may actually be working against you. But what if their actions are more than just toxic behavior? What if there's a deeper, darker force at work? Today, we'll talk about the unmistakable signs that someone in your life wasn't brought by fate or chance, but was sent by the devil himself. These aren't your typical personality flaws. These behaviors are so calculated and insidious that they disturb your spirit. It could be the person who shows up just when things are going well, only to subtly undermine you, or the one who listens to your dreams and goals, but leaves you doubting yourself after every conversation. They seem to thrive on your confusion and pain, making it difficult for you to cut them off as if you're under a spell. The truth is, evil doesn't always come with horns and a pitchfork. Sometimes it wears the face of someone you trust. In the next few minutes, we'll reveal 5 clear signs that someone in your life isn't just causing inconvenience, but is a deliberate disruption meant to throw you off your God-given path. Recognizing these signs will empower you to break free, reclaim your peace, and protect your soul. While you listen to this, take a moment to reflect on your journey with God. If this message is related to you, consider making a declaration of faith. Write in the comments, "Lord, keep me away from these people, today and forever." Let these commitments inspire others to walk faithfully with God. If this message touches your heart, we invite you to share your support by subscribing to our channel. Your encouragement helps us continue creating content that uplifts and inspires. May God bless you abundantly for your generosity and commitment to His truth. The first sign, they constantly lead you away from God. Have you ever noticed someone in your life, whether a friend, partner, or even a family member, subtly or boldly steering you off your spiritual path? At first, they may seem supportive and well-meaning, but over time, you begin to feel your connection to God weaken. Your faith starts to waver, and the inner peace you once cherished feels distant. This is no coincidence. This could be a deliberate tactic from the enemy, a person intentionally placed in your life to lead you away from God. This influence often begins subtly, which makes it even more dangerous. They might not openly oppose your faith or criticize your beliefs, but their actions and behaviors create a drift. Perhaps they avoid spiritual conversations that you once shared or change the subject whenever you bring up God. Over time, you might find yourself talking less about your faith until it's almost non-existent in your interactions. Default text. It could also be through small compromises. For example, they might encourage you to skip church for a social event or distract you from prayer with activities that draw you further from God. At first, these actions might seem harmless, but over time, they accumulate. Slowly, you lose touch with your spiritual practices and wake up realizing that your relationship with God has taken a back seat. If someone in your life is consistently pulling you away from God's presence, recognize this as a red flag. Stay vigilant, seek discernment, and take steps to protect your faith and spiritual foundation. Another way someone may lead you away from God is by constantly planting seeds of doubt about your faith. Their remarks might sound like innocent questions such as, "Do you really believe God listens to every prayer?" Or, "How can you be sure there's even a God?" While these may seem like genuine curiosity, they often carry a hidden undertone of skepticism, designed to chip away at your confidence in God. At first, you might feel strong enough in your faith to dismiss these comments. But over time, the repeated doubts can start to seep into your mind. You might begin questioning the very beliefs that once brought you peace and clarity. Without realizing it, you could find yourself feeling isolated from God, unsure of your faith, and disconnected from your spiritual community. Understand that this is not random. The enemy often uses those closest to us to attack the areas where we are most vulnerable, our relationship with God. By causing you to doubt God's existence or His power, the goal is to weaken your faith, sever your connection with Him, and lead you into confusion and despair. Default text. If you notice someone consistently undermining your faith, guard your heart, lean on God's Word, and seek wisdom and discernment to recognize and resist these tactics. Another tactic someone might use to lead you away from God is by distracting you with worldly pursuits. This strategy is subtle, yet incredibly effective, so it's vital to recognize it early. The person leading you astray may not seem harmful. In fact, they might appear successful, ambitious, or socially influential, qualities you admire. But beneath the charm lies a danger. Their lifestyle and priorities quietly steer you away from what matters most, your relationship with God. Life's demands: work, money, success, relationships, and social status are not inherently wrong. However, when these things become more important than your spiritual well-being, they turn into dangerous distractions. This person might encourage you to chase success at the expense of your faith, celebrating your career milestones, wealth, or popularity, but never supporting or acknowledging your spiritual growth. The devil's plan is simple: to keep you so consumed with the material world that you lose sight of eternity. The more time and energy you pour into fleeting worldly pursuits, the less time you have to nurture your soul. Over time, your relationship with God weakens and withers. And all the while, the person influencing you is right there cheering you on, serving as the very tool the enemy uses to keep you distracted from your true purpose in Christ. Stay alert and prioritize God above all else. Worldly achievements will fade, but your relationship with God has eternal value. Another tactic someone sent by the devil might use is to isolate you from your spiritual community. They won't outright tell you to stop attending church or prayer meetings, but their actions subtly discourage you from spending time with people who share your faith. Perhaps they make negative comments about your spiritual community, calling them judgmental or hypocritical. Or maybe they make you feel guilty for prioritizing time with your spiritual friends over spending time with them. This gradual isolation can have devastating effects on your faith. God created us for community, knowing that we are stronger when we are surrounded by others who encourage, support, and guide us in our spiritual walk. However, the person sent by the devil aims to sever that support system, leaving you vulnerable to spiritual attacks. When you're isolated, you're more likely to struggle with doubt, fear, and temptation. Without the encouragement and accountability of your spiritual community, it becomes easier to drift away from God. The devil knows this, and so does the person leading you away. That's why they work sometimes subtly, sometimes openly, to distance you from the people who strengthen your faith. If someone in your life constantly pulls you away from God, it's time to open your eyes and face the truth. This person may not just be a bad influence, they could be a tool of the devil sent to derail your spiritual journey. Don't be deceived by their charm or supposed good intentions. If their presence in your life causes you to drift away from God, it's time to reevaluate the relationship and seek God's guidance. The second sign: they encourage sinful behavior. A second sign that someone in your life might have been sent by the devil is when they actively encourage sinful behavior. At first, their presence may seem exciting, like a breath of fresh air. They bring fun, adventure, and new experiences, pulling you out of your daily routine. However, if you take a closer look, there's often a dangerous undertone in the way they subtly push you to make choices that don't align with your values. This isn't a coincidence. It's a clear red flag. Their influence may feel harmless or even positive at first, but their encouragement of sinful behavior slowly leads you away from what's right and steers you toward spiritual danger. Encouraging sin isn't always obvious, and this person may not appear evil or malicious. They might even frame their actions as wanting to help you relax, enjoy life, or live a little, but the result is the same. They lead you into temptation and pull you further from God. The devil often works through people who seem harmless or fun, using them to weaken your spiritual defenses. Sin rarely presents itself as something clearly harmful. Instead, it's wrapped in the appeal of excitement, freedom, or a way to escape the monotony of life. Whether it's a night out that leads to excessive drinking, a small lie to get ahead, or gossiping about others, sin is designed to look attractive. When someone constantly encourages you to engage in sinful behavior, they often do so under the guise of friendship or support. They might say things like, "It's just one drink," or "Everyone does it, it's no big deal," but what begins as a small compromise can quickly spiral. One small lie turns into a lifestyle of deceit, and one reckless night becomes a pattern of destructive living. Before long, you're trapped in a cycle of sin that feels impossible to escape. The person influencing you may not even realize the extent of the harm they're causing, but whether they're aware or not, they're acting as an agent of the devil. By encouraging sinful actions, they're pulling you away from righteousness and leading you closer to spiritual destruction. One of the most dangerous aspects of this influence is how it normalizes sin over time. They make sinful behavior seem like a natural part of life, something everyone does. You might start to think, if everyone else is doing it, why should I feel bad? Or, this isn't as bad as other things I could be doing. This rationalization is a trap. Sin often starts small, almost unnoticeable, and grows until it becomes a significant part of your life. The person encouraging you might seem like a close friend, a fun companion, or even someone you trust deeply. But you need to evaluate their influence on you. If you find yourself engaging in behaviors you know are wrong, or if your conscience feels dulled, this is a sign that their presence is leading you down a dangerous road. Be vigilant and seek God's guidance to discern their true impact on your spiritual journey. Another clear sign that someone in your life might have been sent by the devil is their tendency to undermine your morals. This can happen subtly or outright. They may question your values, mock your beliefs, or suggest that you're being overly strict or judgmental for striving to live a righteous life. At first, these remarks might seem harmless, a joke about being a goody two-shoes, or a comment that you're too uptight for avoiding certain activities. However, over time, these small jabs can erode your resolve. The devil thrives on making you doubt your moral compass. When someone close to you encourages behaviors that go against your values, they often do so in a way that makes you second-guess yourself. They might say things like, "Why are you so hard on yourself?" Or, "Life is too short to worry about things like that," implying that your morals are outdated or unnecessary. This isn't just offering a different perspective, it's a direct attack on your spiritual foundation, aimed at weakening your connection to God. When someone repeatedly challenges your beliefs and encourages behaviors you know are wrong, it's not just about the actions themselves. Over time, you may begin adopting their worldview, convincing yourself that cutting corners, telling small lies, or indulging in fleeting pleasures is acceptable. This blurring of right and wrong is exactly what the devil wants. Once your sense of morality is weakened, you become more susceptible to temptation and sin. One of the most deceptive tactics used by someone sent by the devil is their ability to justify sinful behavior with seemingly good intentions. They might say, "I'm only doing this because I care about you," or "You need to experience life to the fullest." These justifications can be especially persuasive when they come from someone you trust. But beneath the surface, their influence is leading you further from God. For example, they may encourage you to lie to avoid discomfort, framing it as helping you solve a problem. While this might seem harmless, it leads to dishonesty, a sin that damages your integrity and relationship with God. They might also push you to indulge in behaviors that appear harmless, like partying or material excesses, but that gradually weaken your spiritual health. This is where the devil's influence becomes particularly dangerous. Sin is rarely presented as something overtly evil. Instead, it's often disguised as beneficial, fun, or even necessary. The person leading you astray may genuinely believe they're helping, but their actions are steering you away from truth and righteousness. Good intentions can act as a cloak for sinful behavior, making it harder to recognize the danger until you're already ensnared. The impact of someone encouraging sinful behavior goes beyond physical or emotional consequences. It strikes at the heart of your spiritual life. Each time you act against your conscience, it creates a separation between you and God. Over time, the more you indulge in sin, the more distant God feels, and the harder it becomes to return to Him. At first, you might feel guilt or conviction after engaging in sinful behavior. But as sin becomes normalized, those feelings fade. What once would have caused you to repent and seek forgiveness begins to feel ordinary. This desensitization is exactly what the devil desires, to create a growing gap between you and God until you no longer feel the need to seek Him. The person encouraging this behavior may not realize the full extent of their impact, but their influence is undeniably leading you away from God. Whether it's normalizing sin, undermining your morals, or justifying harmful actions with good intentions, they are acting as a tool of the devil, pulling you closer to spiritual destruction. If you see these signs in someone close to you, it's essential to take action. Protecting your soul means setting boundaries or even removing toxic influences from your life, no matter how close that person may be. While this can be difficult, your spiritual health and relationship with God are worth it. By recognizing these tactics and seeking God's guidance, you can avoid the traps of sin and stay on the path of righteousness. The devil's greatest weapon is deception, and he often works through those closest to you. Stay vigilant, trust your instincts, and prioritize your connection with God. With His guidance, you can discern when someone in your life is leading you astray and protect yourself from the spiritual consequences of sin. The third sign: they create chaos and conflict. Have you ever noticed that certain people seem to leave a trail of chaos wherever they go? No matter the situation, they stir up conflict, unsettle peaceful environments, and turn harmony into discord. They might present themselves as well-meaning, but after every interaction, you're left feeling emotionally drained, unsettled, or even at odds with the people you care about. This is no coincidence. One of the clearest signs that someone in your life was sent by the devil is their uncanny ability to create chaos and conflict. The devil thrives in disorder and confusion. He knows that when chaos reigns, our ability to think clearly, stay grounded in faith, and act with love and wisdom becomes compromised. So, how does he accomplish this? Often, it's through people who subtly or sometimes overtly bring disruption into our lives. These individuals, whether intentionally or not, act as agents of the devil by fostering division, causing arguments, and making peace a rarity. At first glance, the chaos bringer might not appear to be a significant threat. They might seem like a harmless friend who just happens to always be in the middle of drama. Perhaps they often speak negatively about others behind their backs, stirring up gossip and tension. Maybe they regularly complain about their lives and encourage you to do the same, dragging you into a spiral of negativity. Or perhaps they seem to spark arguments during social gatherings, turning what should be peaceful, joyful occasions into battlegrounds filled with conflicting opinions and hurt feelings. The introduction of chaos often happens gradually, so you might not notice its full impact at first. This person might initially seem charismatic, fun, or passionate about life, and their constant upheaval might just feel like a quirky part of their personality. But over time, their presence starts to weigh on you. You might find yourself feeling more anxious, irritable, and disconnected from your usual state of peace and calm. What you're experiencing is the early stage of the devil's tactic, using this person to erode your sense of stability and spiritual well-being. Chaos doesn't always come in the form of loud arguments or obvious confrontations. Sometimes it creeps in through subtle, means constant negativity, passive-aggressive comments, or manipulative behaviors that keep you perpetually on edge. The devil works through these individuals to create an environment where you are always reacting, always stressed, and always distracted from your spiritual growth and connection to God. This disruption isn't random. It's strategic. The more time and energy you spend managing the chaos and conflict, the less time you have to focus on nurturing your faith, spending time in prayer, and building your relationship with God. Instead of dwelling in peace and clarity, your mind becomes preoccupied with drama, hurt feelings, and confusion. If you recognize this pattern in someone's presence in your life, it's important to take a step back and evaluate how their influence affects you. While it might be challenging to confront the situation, protecting your spiritual well-being is worth the effort. Set boundaries, seek God's guidance, and surround yourself with people who bring peace, encouragement, and wisdom into your life. Remember, God is not the author of confusion, but of peace. 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 33. If someone in your life consistently creates conflict and chaos, they may be acting as a tool of the enemy to pull you away from God's presence and purpose. Stay vigilant, protect your peace, and always seek God's wisdom in navigating relationships that challenge your spiritual growth. One of the most obvious signs that someone in your life was sent by the devil is their ability to create drama and division. These individuals have a way of turning small misunderstandings into full-blown arguments, pitting people against one another, and fostering an atmosphere of distrust and resentment. They thrive on conflict, and whether consciously or subconsciously, they bring it wherever they go. Have you ever had someone in your life who always seems to be at the center of drama? Whether it's with friends, family, or even strangers, they are constantly involved in disputes. What's worse is that they often drag you into their conflicts, either by seeking your support in their battles or by creating tension between you and others. For example, they may share stories about how someone wronged them, urging you to take sides. Or they might bring up controversial topics during moments that call for peace and unity, turning what should be a calm environment into a battlefield of emotions. This behavior isn't just a personality quirk. It's a deliberate attempt to sow discord. The devil knows that when we are divided, we are weaker. Our relationships suffer, our communities crumble, and our sense of connection to one another and to God is strained. Someone who constantly creates division is acting as a tool of the devil, whether they realize it or not. By keeping you and those around you in a state of conflict, they prevent the growth of love, compassion, and unity, foundational pillars of a spiritually fulfilling life. Another tactic used by someone sent by the devil is emotional manipulation and gaslighting. These individuals are masters at twisting reality and making you question your feelings, memories, and perceptions. They use subtle manipulation tactics to control your emotions, keep you off balance, and make you feel like the chaos they create is your fault. For instance, imagine you have a friend who constantly puts you down in subtle ways. When you confront them, they deny it, make excuses, or accuse you of being too sensitive. This gaslighting leaves you feeling confused and doubting your own experiences. Over time, You may start to believe that you're the problem, that you're overreacting, or that your feelings aren't valid. Default text. This is exactly what the devil wants, to make you feel uncertain, disconnected from your intuition, and reliant on others to define your reality. Emotional manipulators thrive in chaos because it gives them power. When you're constantly doubting yourself or trying to navigate the emotional minefield they've created, it becomes much harder to focus on your spiritual health and growth. The devil uses these individuals to keep you in a state of emotional turmoil, weakening your connection to God and your ability to live a peaceful, grounded life. Peace is one of the greatest gifts God offers us. It allows us to live with clarity, love, and purpose. But the devil hates peace because it represents the order and harmony that comes from living in alignment with God. Instead, the devil seeks to create chaos and confusion, knowing that when we're unsettled, we're more vulnerable to temptation, fear, and doubt. Someone sent by the devil will often disrupt your peace in subtle ways. They may constantly bring up negative or controversial topics that leave you feeling anxious or upset. They might stir up conflicts between you and others, making it difficult to maintain healthy relationships. Or they could create an atmosphere of instability where you never know what to expect from them, leaving you constantly on edge. This constant disruption of peace takes a toll on your mental, emotional, and spiritual health. It becomes harder to find moments of stillness and reflection essential for maintaining a strong connection to God. The devil uses these disruptions to keep you distracted, stressed, and reactive. When you're in this state, you're less likely to seek God's guidance and more likely to fall into patterns of fear, anger, or resentment. If you've identified someone in your life who consistently creates drama, division, or emotional chaos, it's important to take action. Protecting your peace and spiritual well-being may require setting boundaries or even removing this person from your life altogether. Your relationship with God is the most important part of your life, and anyone who consistently disrupts your peace is not acting in your best interest. By recognizing these signs and seeking God's guidance, you can protect yourself from the influence of individuals who may be acting as tools of the devil. Stay vigilant, seek peace, and trust in God's wisdom to guide you through these challenges. One of the subtle ways the devil creates chaos in your life is by targeting your relationships. He may use individuals to cause division, fueling conflict, spreading lies, twisting your words, or encouraging you to harbor negative feelings towards others. This often leads to distrust, resentment, and even isolation from those you care about. When relationships are under attack, the weight of unresolved tensions can become overwhelming, making it harder for you to focus on your spiritual journey, personal growth, or even your daily responsibilities. The devil knows that human connections are vital for emotional and spiritual well-being. That's why he targets these bonds, aiming to break down the trust and love that are essential for a fulfilled life. Whether through manipulation, gossip, or outright discord, these agents of chaos try to dismantle the harmony you once enjoyed. If you find yourself constantly drained, anxious, or unsettled after interacting with someone, it may be time to assess their role in your life. Do their actions consistently lead to confusion, stress, or turmoil? Do they seem to thrive in chaos even when peace could be easily maintained? These are clear indicators that their influence might not be in alignment with God's plan for your life. It's important to recognize that not every difficult person is an agent of the devil. Everyone faces moments of conflict or makes mistakes, but when someone consistently brings negativity and strife into your world, it's time to carefully evaluate their impact. If you identify such a person, take decisive steps to protect your inner peace and spiritual well-being. Setting boundaries, limiting interactions, or even severing ties may be necessary to safeguard the harmony God desires for you. Remember, Your relationship with God and your peace of mind should always take precedence over any toxic relationship. God calls you to live in peace, and He gives you the strength to remove yourself from situations and individuals that disturb that peace. By identifying these negative influences and taking action to remove them, you create space for healing, personal growth, and a deeper connection with God. It's not always easy to discern when someone is sent to create chaos, but once you recognize the signs, you hold the power to protect your peace. Chaos is never from God, and anyone who thrives on it is not acting in your best interest. Choose peace. Surround yourself with individuals who encourage love, harmony, and spiritual growth, and trust that God will lead you toward healthier relationships. As the Bible reminds us in Romans chapter 12, verse 18, if it is possible, as far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone, seek out those who help you live in peace, and avoid those who try to pull you into conflict. Your spiritual health and inner peace are too precious to compromise. It's also essential to surround yourself with individuals who uplift, encourage, and support you. Seek out relationships that bring joy, peace, and positivity into your life. These positive influences will help you grow spiritually, emotionally, and mentally, empowering you to live a life aligned with God's purpose for you. Finding individuals who support you spiritually, emotionally, and mentally is essential for maintaining balance in your life. These people will help you stay grounded in your faith, offer emotional support when needed, and contribute positively to your overall well-being. However, when you feel drained and overwhelmed, it's crucial to reconnect with God. Turn to Him for strength, guidance, and renewal. Spend time in prayer, meditate on His Word, and seek His presence during moments of exhaustion. God is the ultimate source of peace, joy, and energy, and He will restore you when the world and the people around you drain you. If someone in your life consistently drains your energy and happiness, they may not just be a difficult person, they could be an instrument of the devil, sent to pull you away from your sense of peace, joy, and well-being. Recognizing the signs of emotional manipulation, boundary violations, and spiritual disruption is key to protecting yourself. The devil thrives on keeping you emotionally exhausted, but God offers you a life of joy, peace, and abundance. By prioritizing your well-being and setting boundaries, you can shield yourself from negative influences. As we've explored these signs, it's clear that the devil rarely shows up in obvious ways. Sometimes, he works through those closest to us, those who manipulate our emotions, lead us into temptation, stir up conflict, drain our energy, or pull us away from God. The key to protecting yourself lies in recognizing these signs and standing firm in your faith. Remember, you are not powerless. With God's wisdom and strength, you can set boundaries, distance yourself from harmful influences, and reclaim your peace, joy, and purpose. The people in your life should encourage your growth, foster love, and uplift your spirit, not drain your soul or disrupt your journey toward God. Stay vigilant, guard your heart, protect your mind, and choose your company wisely. The devil may try to invade your life through others, but with faith, discernment, and the power of God's love, you can stand strong. No force of darkness can prevail against you. If this message enlightened you, please consider subscribing to the channel, liking the video, and sharing it with friends or family who might need it. Leave a comment below to let me know if there's someone in your life like this. Thank you for being part of the Journey of Renewal community, and may God continue to bless you abundantly.